Hi, hello students. Welcome to LTX classes. This is me SPR. Today we're gonna discuss about the recent time in the news, a cloud burst. Okay, guys. Rainfall means the beauty of the rainfall will be enjoying it with a cup of tea or coffee. Will be enjoying the rain and will be happy. But if rainfall is not simple and it is bursting at once, and we are having a high amount of rainfall at once in limited time in limited area, and it turn into the flash floods, then it is called as the cloud burst. So now we'll be studying about cloud burst and why it is so important in the news. Everything will be viewing in detail. Before that, kindly like the video if you like the video, and also comment for more updates, and also your comment means a lot to me, so kindly comment and also subscribe for the more updates through our channel. So this channel will make easy for your UPSC preparation and detailedly studying all the concepts that are required for your UPSC. So this cloud burst is in news. Why it is in the news? Let me show in detail. If you Google out cloudburst, see here in Times in India, they had provided Amarnath cloudburst live updates, which means it has been happening in Amarnath, and which is more sensitive and important in present day news. And NDTV news, it is about flash floods and cloudburst, and here Mint and also Indian Express, what are the cloudbursts and why do they cause flash floods. These are all the recent time news. So if it is present mostly in the news, then it stands as important for your UPSC preparation. So whatever present in the news, is it important? Means no. We need to study which is more important to UPSC. See here, topic is very important for UPSC. As you can see, this topic has directly asked in UPSC means 2016. The question here, you can kindly comment the answer for this question if you can, and if you feel easy, okay, comfortable with answering, kindly answer, so that will create competitiveness in you and also motivates you in your preparation, and also your circle also learn the topic much more. See here, with reference to National Disaster Management Authority, see here, with reference to national NDMA guidelines, discuss the measures to adopt to mitigate to the impact of recent incidents of cloudburst in many places of Uttarakhand. So here, a recent time in news, regularly in the month of June, July, we'll be hearing about cloudburst regularly happening in Uttarakhand. Actually, 2013 there is a biggest cloudburst and more people died and many houses has been lost, and it had stood as a major disaster in India during that period. And even now, recent times continuously cloudburst is being repeatedly happening. So we'll be studying that in detail. See here, it's already asked in UPSC means this topic itself indicates that is more sensitive and important for your UPSC preparation. First of all, let's understand the topic through images, then we shall get into the topic with theoretical analysis and detailed analysis. See here, look this, how it is happening. A dark thick clouds with thunderstorm and also covering the limited area, only this part you can see burst, which means cloud is bursting and high amount of rainfall has been found in this region. So this is called as the cloud burst. And for by which type of clouds, if you are studying geography, there are different types of clouds, students. Here you can see cirrus clouds, cirrostratus clouds, altocumulus clouds, altostratus clouds, stratocumulus cloud, nimbostratus, stratus, cumulus. But these are all the topics that you need to read when you are reading the topic called clouds. But here, when you are reading cloud burst, you need to know about so-called cumulonimbus. Most probably, this cloud burst will be happening in the due to the cumulonimbus clouds. So these cumulonimbus clouds are thick, dense, dark, and large in size and length and width. So this is what called as a cumulonimbus cloud. These clouds are the main reason responsible for the cloud burst. Okay. Now let us see what are all the effects. Here, if a cloud burst happens, there will be a huge amount of flash floods. Flash floods means what? Flash, which means flash news, which means sudden news without any pre-informed status. Suddenly something approaches, floods suddenly approaches, then that is called as the flash floods. Okay, here, how does this happen? What is the science behind it? Let us understand. Here, mostly cloudburst happen in mountain and hilly terrain. Is that say that only cloudburst will be happening in mountain region? Means no. Cloudburst can happen in any regions. This will be happening in any regions. It can happen in plains and it can happen in mountains also. But frequency is high in mountains in India. Why is that? I'll be explaining in detail. So wait and watch till the end of this video, and kindly give a like button also. Here, see here, dense cloud, okay, with water vapor is going and hitting the so-called mountains. So after hitting the mountains and due to the a relative humidity high, which means its relative humidity will be high and cloud cover will be thick. So slowly it starts melting down and condensation will happen, and it will release as a droplets. So while during the releasing as a droplets of water, there is a moist air rising along the valley of the hills. So see here, when this air rises high, this will carry the water vapor that is coming down, and it will carry again to the clouds. So here melting down of water downwards, and also the air carrying the water vapor again to the upward direction. So when this both join over here, continuous recycling will be happening, and this will build up high pressure, high energy, and suddenly after a certain time this air loses its patience, and it will burst. So then only a bulk amount of rain will fall along these regions. So this is called as cloud burst. See here, the cloud burst also needed a downward thrust of air or moist air rising upward, and which is also main reason for the cause of the cloud burst. And the opposite side of the hilly terrain is considered as the so called rain shadow region. This is what cloudburst is, the topic. And also next, if you are reading cloudburst, you need to know about microburst. See here, this thing it is doesn't mention in the news, but UPSC had taught a new form of learning, which means don't directly read the topic itself, you also read the topic related to itself. Okay, now the modern trend has been changed in the last 4 5 years, so I'm adding the concept called microburst. After completion of the cloudburst, I'll be teaching you what is microburst. Okay, now let us come to the detailed study of the cloudburst. Here, cloudburst means what? See here, cloudburst means short duration. Does the rain happen for long duration? Means no, the rain is for only just a short duration. And intense rainfall means not drizzling, there will be a thick downfall of water and intense rainfall. And if it happens in a large area, means no, in a small area, if this happens all together, then it is called as the cloud burst. Okay, but the data is needed to learn this. So if you come to the data, precipitation, the amount of rainfall or water reaches the ground, is called as the precipitation through the clouds. Okay, so if you are considering precipitations, it will be 100 millimeter per hour. If rainfall or precipitation is 100 millimeter per hour, which can be written as 10 centimeters per hour, and also can be written in inches as 3.9 inches per hour. So if it reaches this stage, then there is a chance of getting cloud burst. So this is the data which indicates cloud burst has happened. So, and also if you are considering, as I said earlier, it is a smaller area which is up to 20 to 30 square kilometers. If this rainfall is this much high in just a span of 20 to 30 square kilometers, then it is considered as the cloud burst. If a normal rainfall, heavy rainfall can be considered as the cloud burst, means no. So if it only exceeds these limitations, then it can be called as the cloud burst. Do you have an idea mostly when and where the most of the cloudburst happens in India? Means let me provide that with India map. So wait patiently and understand the India map where mostly cloudburst is happening regularly and which month and why. Here, mostly in this Himalayan region, particularly in Uttarakhand and this region, there is a high relevance and frequency of the cloudburst happening in India. Okay, we know this place, why it is happening. Can you answer that? And also, most of the cloudburst in India happens in June and July month in this region. Can you answer that why it is happening in this region only, means in this time only, means that is the reason. Here, monsoon, southwest monsoon brings rainfall to the all over India. It starts in south of India in June first week and June 1st, and mostly June 1st. I'm providing an average data but not an exact data, because year on year it will be varying. But June 15th it will be reaching to the Gujarat. So here June 15th it will reach to the Gujarat. But this winds of monsoon will be traveling through the Bay of Bengal also. It will be traveling through Bay of Bengal, it will be traveling through Arabian Ocean, and after traveling all over the regions, here there is a presence of Himalayas. So when this it reaches Himalayas, and it will turn like this, and the other wing from the Bay of Bengal also hit the Himalayas and reach like this. So when this all the winds and clouds reaches the Himalayas, there is a high amount of rainfall to be present. So this is called as the northward drift of monsoon. See here, northward drift of monsoon winds and monsoon clouds that will lead and reach this region by June end and July first week and this thing and this period. So that only regularly most of the time we get a so-called cloud burst during this region and time. And also here rainfall automatically is high. We know that automatically you will be getting this in this region during this time period, as more than greater than 5 centimeters of rainfall will be present over this region. But more than normal there is a sudden downpour, it is called as a cloud burst. And also cloud burst has different phenomena that favoring it, like relative humidity. You need to know what is relative humidity. High relative humidity will be present over, so that it helps the occurrence of the cloudburst. So relative humidity means what? Relative humidity means none other than in given place, okay, in given place and temperature and pressure, in given temperature and pressure, if the water holding capacity of air, water vapor, see here water vapor, let me write it WV, water vapor holding capacity of air is considered as the so called relative humidity. This relative humidity will be varying from place to place and region to region. But if relative humidity is high means the so called air will reach the saturation and it cannot further hold the water vapor present in the air. So then only it will be causing a burst or huge amount of water, and which means rainfall, and cloud will be bursting. Okay, this is the main reason, high moisture, high relative humidity. This will favor for the more cause of the so called cloud burst in a short duration of time. And next thing, you must need to remember what are all the effects of the cloud burst. Let me show it here. You can see it affects the nature, and also it affects the grid of the human lifestyle. One thing you must be remembering in detail: human lifestyle. Actually, this hilly terrain and forest area are for forest and animal life. But what humans are doing over here? They are encroaching. So one of the main reason why it has become disaster is encroachment. Human encroachment to the forest area and also protected area, and also they are settling in the hilly terrain that had caused, and also settling in the flood plains. One more thing, remember this: flood plains. What is the flood plains? Flood plains means if a river flows like this, normal flow of the river, the sides of this region where during rainy season the water in the river will be overflowing and it will be flowing over this region. So these regions are called as the flood plains. When you construct buildings over here and more buildings are constructed in this region, then these regions will be flooded with water. So this called as the flood plains. So this is what happening in a Indian scenario and many other places where encroachment is leading to the death of the many people due to the so called natural disaster. Okay, now let us see the effects of the cloudburst. See here, if cloudburst happening, there are major affecting the humans and any lifestyle. Flash floods. These are the main outcome of the so-called cloudburst. What is happening in cloudburst? One time at once huge amount of rainfall had been fallen. So if rainfall is heavier, it takes soil erosion. Most of the soil will be eroded and it will reach, and also it carries the mud, which means the water carries the mud. Flash floods means sudden water flow, and also sudden and high amount of water flow. Here you can see many buildings are present over here, and many are filled with mud and water, and which will carry the most of the water all of the sudden, and it causes a floods in this region is called as the flash floods. So flash floods which has more soil erosion, mud will be traveling, and also it will take all the mud present in that region and carry as, so we can see that mud flow also happening in this region. And many landslides. See here, landslides means you can see over here how humans has constructed buildings over here. This place has been slided. So because of the rainfall and water loosens the interior regions, so suddenly this will fall. So if you watch O2 movie recently which has released, that O2 movie by Nayanthara has clearly explained how landslides can happen, and it is an incident happened in Kerala, and it had provided a brief view. Few movies will provide a detailed explanation also of that. Landslide means none other than here great hill will be there, suddenly due to rainfall and everything this mud will be loose and free to move, so this will slide down and reach to the surface or plains. This is called as the landslides. And mud flows means already I had explained, few major amount of mud will be flowing. Next thing is land caving. You know what is cave? Land caving means huge which means like similar to the cave, huge caves will be formed because of the landslides. This is called as the land caving. And also there is also other issues of so-called flash floods and cloudburst, because if a natural flow of river is like this, suddenly some landslides or cloudbursts or flash floods and mud flows, this will block the river flow. So this can also affect the nature and also human existence. So there is a effect of blocking the path. So effects, you can say that blocking the path. So path of the river can be blocked, or also reservoir can be blocked, or many other natural or man-made disaster can happen. The trees will be fallen, uprooted, and also animals will be died. There are many issues that are related to the so-called cloud burst. If you can say that this cloudburst is frequently happening, means no, because we cannot calculate when this cloudburst can happen and where, but we can estimate that frequency is repeatedly happening in certain regions. For example, from 2013 regularly you can see that cloudburst has been happening in Uttarakhand, which has been frequently in use. So this itself indicates that frequency is very clear, that extreme precipitation regions and also during few months this cloudburst is happening in particular region per se. And also, can we forecast the cloudburst? Forecast means what? Can you estimate how, when, and where? For example, you can see when cyclone is approaching our Bay of Bengal coast or Arabian coast, you will be get updated 1 week before or 2 weeks before that some so-called cyclone or low pressure gonna form in Bay of Bengal and to reach the coast of the India, maybe Bay of Bengal coast or also Arabian coast. So any of the thing. But here cloudburst is restricted to the small area. So this happens in small area and also less time. So it is difficult to forecast. But also, so we have a modern technology to estimate and forecast the rainfall, but it is costly. So in India it is costly and cannot be implemented in every places. So it had been difficult, but there are Doppler effects. Okay, so Doppler radars are present that can calculate or forecast the so-called cloudburst and can warn them. But this warning is also not so much earlier. Only we can detect it 6 hours before only. But certain places you can estimate that 12 to 14 hours before. But in Indian scenario, it is much more difficult to estimate and calculate this so-called cloudburst. So if you are unable to focus that, then it is a major issue in India and worldwide also. This is what cloudburst you had read completely, and you had a knowledge what is cloudburst and complete details. And next you're gonna see about so-called a small concept, as I had mentioned earlier, which is more important for your UPSC preparation. That is none other than microburst. Let me explain this topic in image, then I will take you to the theory. There is no much more theory also. I will explain it using the map image itself. Here, this is more important because something cloudburst every student will be knowing, but only the LTX classes students will only know the microburst. Now I'm gonna explain a topic called microburst, and this has a other name called as rain bomb. Okay, now you can Google out and learn more, but most of the thing will be explained by me in clear. This rain bomb is of two types. One is dry microburst and other is wet microburst. In dry, no rain. Dry means no rain, and in wet you will be having huge rain. A thrust of rain can be found in the wet rain bomb or wet microburst. Here this microburst also include thunderstorm. Here heavy thunderstorm will be present. And how does this happen and which region it will be happening? You can view it in clear. Here you can see a thick cloud present over here. Here there is a cold air present over here, and it has been thrusted towards the bottom or surface. So heavy thrust that had created from the cold air reaching to the hot surface, all of a suddenly this thrust will be happening to the surface with heavy amount of force, energy, and with powerful thrust. So this is also limited to the, if it happens to the limit of 2.5 miles. See here, very less region. If you are considering cloudburst, it happens between the 20 to 30 kilometers, but this is only to the 2.5 miles, very lesser place. And also here how it happens, you can see this image where clearly shows a downward thrust of wind and water that creates a vortex, a ring of vortex, and also the air when it hits the wind that hits the ground also will be of 270 kilometers per hour. such a high forcible wind will be hitting the surface. And also this is similar to the tornado. You can see tornado, a whirling of wind will be happening, and high pressure and high force will be happening. That is called as a tornado. The similar thing will be happening over here, but with high pressure that thrust towards the ground. Here, if it is wet, which means wet microburst, you can also experience the hailstones will be experienced, and water droplets will be reached, and thunderstorm will be heavier in this region, and huge core of rain. Here thunderstorm along with huge core of rain with only limited region, then it is called as the micro burst. But this micro burst is not much more familiar with India. Then where it is been familiar means mostly in Australia. In Australia, Brisbane, a region called Brisbane, where more amount of so-called microburst has been happening. And also if it is been happening, there is a power shortages, and also schools will be closed, evacuations will be happening. This also can create flash floods. So this itself indicates a more and more and more important sensitive topic, such is called as a microburst. So kindly remember this topic. This is more and more important, and it is also has a nickname called rain bomb, similar to the bomb that had been risen from the sky to the earth. Suddenly it will be blasting with a high amount of wind, speed, thunderstorm, rain. Everything hits the surface, and this is called as the rain bomb. Okay guys, hope you'd have liked the video and content that has been provided by me. So if you like the video, kindly give a like button and also give a comment for the more updates, and your motivation, your support is much more needed for us, so that we can make more content that is required for your UPSC preparations. Until then, bye bye. This is me, SPR, signing off. Have a nice day.